Hello and welcome to Chuck's Diecast car and model reviews. Today we are taking a look at this model here. This is the Porsche 917 LH. This model is built by AutoArt and depicts the Porsche 917 LH driven by Vic Elford and Gerard Larousse in the 1970 Le Mans race. Now you may recall that 1970 was the first year that Porsche won Le Mans. However, it was won by a Porsche 917 KH. Now an LH stands for Langheck, meaning long tail. So this has the long rear end on this car, and then KH stood for Kurzheck, meaning short tail, and that is for named after the short rear end of those cars. This was actually expected to be the car to win Le Mans, because this car actually had a higher top speed than the LHs, but this one actually lasted until the 18th hour, until it broke down due to the engine being over-revved. But regardless, I still love this car. I think it's beautiful with a long, sleek tail and the Martini livery. I've actually seen this car a couple of times. First time I saw it was at Laguna Seca Raceway in Monterey in about 1998. It was the 50th anniversary of Porsche, so in honor of that, Porsche set up a huge display tent in the infield of Laguna Seca, and I swear they brought half the Porsche museum with them to show all of their cars. And this one was there, and I just immediately became enamored of it, the moment I saw it. The second time I saw it was actually in Stuttgart at the Porsche Museum. So I've been fortunate enough to see it twice. Now, for those of you who don't know much about the 917, this car has a air-cooled flat 12 engine, and these things had a top speed on the Mulsanne Straight in excess of 240 miles an hour, which for all of you Koenigsegg and Bugatti fans and so on and so forth may not sound like much, but that is really moving. Okay. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this model in more detail. I think AutoArt did a fantastic job on it. I first saw this car for sale on eBay probably 20 years ago, and I remember they cost somewhere between $115 to $125, and I just couldn't bring myself to spend that amount. But the price has gone up, and this one was closer to $200, and I figured I better get it before it gets even higher. So that's why I got it, and I do love this model. Okay, detailing on this model is really excellent. Nice slats here above the front tires. The decals all are great. They have a nice perfect gloss to them to match the way the car looks. You can see here that there's even a latch for the holding down the rear bodywork, and then there are fuel filler caps on either side. Now I don't know if one of them is oil and the other one is fuel or whatever, which may very well be the case, but it does have fuel fillers on both sides. Detailing here on the wheels and everything here is really good. You can see the rotor and caliper back there just barely. These wheels are incredibly deep. I mean, it's at least a half an inch deep there before you get to the spokes of the wheel, and it's nice that they do have the Firestone badging on the tires as well, and you can also see the advertising there too. Okay, now of course the AutoArt was kind of the peak of about as good as you could get in diecast model cars back 20 odd years ago when this model was made. So this is actually, I would say, kind of ahead of its time in its quality. The headlights look fantastic. They're perfectly done. The quality of the casting is excellent. The shut lines here, as you can see, for this front, I guess you'd call it a trunk, even though there's really nothing in there, is wonderful. And the windshield, the wipers all look great. You can see here when I remove this little piece, the detail there on the inside, which is just basically, I guess you could say, see the chassis tubing, and then the brake booster, or the brake reservoir there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rear of this vehicle. Detailing here is again wonderful. And I actually, when I was at Laguna Seca and I saw this car, I actually took, and I still have that photo, basically this exact shot right here. And I think it just looks so cool. The detailing here on the taillights is great. You can see the hood latches here as well. So all of that looks really good. Good job here on the struts holding up the rear wing. Remember, this would be made of aluminum, so it's more flexible and not as strong as carbon fiber. So they couldn't build a wing that would span that much without any additional support. Now under here, you can see the engine bay. I like how they put this hinged support right here to hold up the engine cover. There is not all that much to see here for the engine, but at least you can see more chassis tubing here. You can see the Le Mans regulation spare tire that they store back here. There's ducting here, I assume for cooling the transmission. More ducting here, right here. I am pretty sure that is ducting to go into these tubs and cool the brakes. You can see a nice detail there on the engine cooling fan. The color on that isn't quite right. The fans were actually made of unfinished fiberglass, so you can see the weave of the fiberglass, and it's sort of a honey color that's translucent, and I'm sure that would be almost impossible to replicate on a model, but that's what they look like. There's, like I said, not too much to see in the engine, but you can see more of the chassis tubing. You can see wiring there for some of the 12 spark plugs and a few other bits and pieces in there. And let me go ahead and close this engine cover, and then I will go ahead and open this. By the way, looking at it from this angle, isn't it gorgeous? I've seen like I said, I've seen this car, and I've seen what they called the hippie car, which is green and purple. It has this really, really wild looking livery in there, and the curves and the everything just looks fantastic. So let's first of all go ahead and zoom in here on this part, which is the passenger side. This is a right-hand drive car. You can see what looks to be, probably fuses and some various switches, and I suppose that could be a fire extinguisher in there. And there's also, you can see, a rear view mirror. So that's kind of interesting. Notice there is no outside rear view mirror because, well, I guess they expected everybody to be behind them. Taking a look at the other side here. I'll zoom in a little bit more. And let's see here if we can get this focused. Oh well, I guess I'll just zoom out and then pull it in. Okay, again, some nice detailing in here. The steering wheel looks really good. You can see the shifter on the right hand side. Detailing for the seats is nice, although the seat belts are plastic and not fabric, but they did a pretty good job on that. And then some black wiring. I don't know if that's for, an intercom, to plug into your helmet to speak with the pits, or if it's, I kind of doubt that. It might have been for a drinks bottle or something like that. I'm not sure. But again, looking in here, some very, very nice detail in there. All right. Okay, well, anyway, let's go ahead and drink in this beautiful shape again. And while we're doing that, I would like to thank you for watching this video. And if you did like this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Have yourself a great day.